I never thought I'd be the guy writing this kind of story, but here we are. My name's Jake, and I've been with my wife Emma for about 5 years. We were supposed to get married next month. Everything was perfect, or so I thought. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but I always believed we were solid. Emma was smart, beautiful, ambitious, and a little bitchy sometimes, but that was just her personality. Still, she loved me, or at least that's what I told myself. Things started to feel weird about 2 months ago. Emma became more secretive. At first, I thought it was work-related stress or her trying to get everything perfect for the wedding, nothing unusual. But then she started changing her habits. She'd leave her phone everywhere, but then hide it when I came near. She'd get calls late at night and sneak out of the house without telling me where she was going. Little things, but enough to make me suspicious. I noticed she was acting different at the wedding planning meetings too. She'd get irritated if I asked questions or tried to be involved. She'd snap at me about small stuff, saying I was just being insecure. Still, I tried to ignore it, convincing myself she was just stressed. But deep down, I felt like something was wrong. I kept telling myself I was being paranoid, that maybe I was just overthinking everything. Then one night I came home early from work because I was feeling off and wanted to surprise her. I thought maybe we could talk, get things out in the open before the wedding. I figured I'd see her in the living room, maybe watching TV or doing wedding stuff. Instead, I walked into our bedroom and saw her. She was in bed with someone, and not just someone, but her boss, Mr. Collins. I swear my heart stopped. They were naked, tangled together, and she looked at me like I was the one who was crazy. Her face twisted in this really bitchy, defiant expression. She was trying to act like nothing was wrong, like I was the one overreacting. She started lying so fast, saying it was just sex, that it didn't mean anything, that Mr. Collins was just a friend from work, and I had no reason to be jealous. Like I was some stupid idiot who didn't know the difference between a fling and real betrayal. I stood there, frozen for a second before rage took over. How could she lie to my face? How could she cheat on me with her boss right before our wedding? It was like some bad soap opera, but it was real. I saw the truth in her eyes, and it hurt more than I ever thought possible. I could see it all, the secret texts, the late nights, the sneaking around. And I knew I had to confront her, had to figure out what the hell was going on. After I saw them there, naked and tangled up, my mind went blank for a second. All I could feel was this burning rage mixed with a deep, sinking hurt. I didn't even know what to say or do at first. My whole world just shattered in that moment. I never thought Emma, the girl I loved, would do something like this, especially with her boss, Mr. Collins. That bastard. I always suspected he was too eager to get close to her, but seeing it with my own eyes was something else entirely. I remember standing there, like a statue, trying to process what I just saw. My hands clenched into fists, and I could feel my heart pounding so loud I thought it would burst out of my chest. Emma looked at me with this bitchy smirk, like she was proud of herself. She started trying to spin some bullshit about how it was nothing, that it was just sex and it didn't mean anything, that she was stressed, that Mr. Collins was just helping her relax. Just sex. Yeah, right. I could see through her lies. I knew it was more than just a fling. It was an affair, and she had been keeping it secret for months. I wanted to scream at her, to shake her, but I couldn't move. My mind was racing through all the memories, all the signs I missed, all the times she said she was just tired or busy with work. I kept thinking about the wedding, about how I was supposed to marry her in a few weeks, and now I was standing here, witnessing her betrayal. It was like everything was crashing down on me all at once. Finally, I managed to get some words out, my voice trembling, but angry. I told her to get out of my house, that I didn't want to see her face again. Her reaction, she just shrugged and said, "You're overreacting. It's just sex, Jake. It doesn't change anything." Like I was some jealous fool who couldn't handle her being with someone else. That was the moment I realized how bitchy she really was, so indifferent to what her actions did to me, so confident she could lie her way out of it. I spent the next few hours in a daze. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, her smirk, her trying to gaslight me. It felt like a punch in the gut every time I replayed the scene in my head. I kept asking myself how I missed all the signs, how I let her get so close without noticing what she was really up to. It wasn't just about the sex. It was the lies, the betrayal, the way she looked at me like I was some stupid fool. The next day, I started digging. I went through her phone, her emails, her work messages. I found dozens of texts, flirty, suggestive, even explicit. She was cheating on me for months and I never saw it coming. All those late nights, the secret calls, the little lies, they were all part of her game. I was furious, heartbroken, and honestly feeling pretty stupid for trusting her at all. I kept asking myself, was this just about sex or was there something deeper? Did she ever really love me? Or was I just another placeholder while she chased some fantasy with Mr. Collins? That thought haunted me. And as much as I wanted to explode, I knew I had to keep my cool because I was about to confront her again, and I needed my head clear for that. After I spent the night going over everything in my head, I couldn't just let it go. I knew I had to confront Emma again, face her lie straight in the eye, and get some answers. I wanted to hear her explain herself, though I already knew the truth. Still, I needed to see just how far she'd go to deny everything. So I waited until she arrived home from work the next day. I didn't call her or text her, just sat on the couch, arms crossed, eyes burning with anger and disappointment. When she finally walked through the door, her face was all too familiar now, defiant, bitchy, like she thought she was untouchable. She smirked when she saw me sitting there and tried to act like nothing had happened. "Hey," she said, trying to sound casual. "What's up?" I looked at her, feeling my blood boil. "You know exactly what's up, Emma. I saw you in bed with Mr. Collins last night. Don't even bother wasting my time with lies. I found the texts, the emails. You've been cheating on me for months, haven't you?" Her eyes flickered for a second, but she quickly regained her composure. "Jake, listen." "No," I cut her off. "Do listen to me. I want the truth, or I want to know why you did this. Were you ever really in love with me, or was I just a safe option while you played your little game with Mr. Collins?" She rolled her eyes and scoffed. "You're overreacting as usual. It's not a big deal. I was stressed, okay? The wedding was stressing me out, and Mr. Collins was just there for me. It was just sex, Jake, nothing more. It didn't mean anything." I didn't buy that for a second. "You expect me to believe that? After everything I saw, after everything I read?" "You're lying, Emma, admit it. You've been messing around with him for months and you're only trying to save face now because you got caught." She crossed her arms, looking stubborn. "Fine, maybe I was stressed. Maybe I made a mistake, but it's over now. I don't owe you an explanation for what I do. I don't love you anymore, Jake. We're done." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. That "we're done" hit harder than anything. Was she serious? After everything, she just threw me away like garbage. The betrayal, the pain, it was all too much to handle in one moment. I wanted to scream, to break something, but I held it in. Instead, I told her she better leave, that I didn't want to see her face again, not after what she did. As she stormed out, she threw a parting shot. "You're just jealous, Jake. You always were. You think you're so perfect, but you're not. I don't need you." That's when I realized how cold she had become. Her bitchy attitude, her lies, her manipulation. She didn't care about me. I was just a pawn in her game. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything: her face, her lies, the betrayal. I was angry, hurt, and confused. How did things get so bad so fast? In just a few hours, my entire life had flipped upside down. I started questioning everything I knew about us. Was I just a fool for trusting her? Did she ever love me? Honestly, I still don't know. All I know is I felt broken and I didn't see any way back from this. The days that followed were a blur of confusion and anger. I kept thinking about what she said, how she dismissed everything, how she called me jealous, like I was the one at fault for catching her cheating. Her words stung almost as much as the betrayal itself. I kept going over every moment, every sign I missed, questioning myself. Was I blind? Did I want to believe her so badly that I ignored the truth? I tried to focus on work, but it was impossible. My mind kept drifting back. To her, to that night at the retreat, to the way she looked when she was lying next to her boss, so smug, so confident. I'd catch myself staring at my phone, waiting for some kind of message or apology that was never coming. I felt like I was stuck in this nightmare I couldn't wake up from. Meanwhile, Emma was acting like nothing happened. She kept posting on social media, smiling, posing with her friends, acting like she was the victim. It made my blood boil. She was so bitchy, so dismissive, like I was just some guy who didn't matter anymore. I wanted to confront her again, but I knew it wouldn't do any good. She'd just lie, spin more stories, and make me doubt myself even more. One day, I decided I needed answers. I went through her work emails again, looking for anything I might have missed. That's when I found an email from Mr. Collins, a detailed exchange about their secret meetings, plans to meet after hours, and her upcoming pregnancy. Yeah, I said pregnancy. Turns out she was pregnant when I caught her in bed with him. She'd been hiding that too. I nearly lost my mind. I couldn't believe she betrayed me this badly, lying, cheating, and hiding a baby from me. It was like everything I thought I knew about her was a lie. I'd been played all along. How could she do that? How could she be so bitchy, so cold, so manipulative? I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach all over again. Thinking about the baby made it even worse. I was supposed to marry her, build a life, and now I was faced with the reality that she'd been lying to me from day one. I knew I couldn't stay quiet anymore. I had to confront her again. This time I was done playing nice. I called her and told her I knew everything, the pregnancy, the affair, all of it. Her reaction, she just laughed, a cold, dismissive laugh that made me want to scream. She said I was just jealous, that I'd never really loved her, and that she didn't care what I thought. That was the moment I decided I had to do something. I couldn't let her keep lying, keep playing with my life. I needed to make her see that I was serious about ending this, about getting revenge for what she'd done. After I told Emma I knew everything, the pregnancy, the affair, the lies, her reaction just confirmed how bitchy she really was. She laughed, that cold, dismissive laugh that made my stomach churn. She said I was just jealous, that I'd never really loved her, and that she didn't give a damn about what I thought. Her words cut deep, but at that point I was too angry to feel anything except a burning need for justice. I knew I couldn't just sit back and let her walk all over me anymore. I started planning my revenge, not some stupid petty revenge, but something that would hit her where it hurt, make her regret what she'd done. I wasn't going to be some pushover, some guy she could manipulate and discard. No, I wanted her to see that her actions had consequences, especially for a bitch like her who thought she could lie her way through everything. First, I gathered everything I could find. Those emails, texts, even some of her private conversations with Mr. Collins that I managed to sneak out of her phone. I wanted proof, real proof, that I could use to confront her or anyone else who might try to dismiss me. I also reached out to a private investigator I knew who specializes in these kinds of things. I paid him to dig into Mr. Collins and Emma's relationship. I needed dirt, something solid that would blow her lies apart and make her realize she couldn't just brush this off. While all this was happening, I stayed silent on social media, watching her post her fake happy pictures, her perfect life act. Meanwhile, I was slowly building my case, preparing to show her how much I knew and how I wasn't going to let her get away with it. She thought she was untouchable, that her lies could just keep going, but I was about to change that. I also started planning my own next steps. I decided I wasn't going to marry her. Not now, not ever. I told myself I'd rather be alone than with someone so cold, so manipulative. I wanted her to see that I was serious about not being her doormat anymore. I even considered going public with what I knew if she didn't come clean. I wanted the world to see the kind of person she was, how she lied, cheated, and played with my life like I was some fool who didn't matter. This was war now, and I was ready for it. I'd been humiliated, betrayed, and broken, but I also knew I had to stand up for myself. The revenge I wanted wasn't about petty revenge. It was about making her understand that her actions had consequences, and she was going to regret crossing me. In the end, I didn't need to do much more than gather enough proof to make her realize I wasn't some naive fool to be played. When I finally confronted her with everything, texts, emails, the private investigator's findings, her face drained of color. She tried to deny everything at first, spinning more lies about how it was just a fling, or how he was just helping her with work stress. But I cut her off with the evidence I had, and her bitchy smirk faded into silence. That day, Emma finally broke down. She was furious, crying, screaming that I was jealous, that I was overreacting, that she didn't mean to hurt me. But I wasn't listening anymore. I'd already made up my mind. I told her she could leave and never come back. I refused to be with someone so manipulative, so cold, so willing to ruin everything for her own selfish needs. Watching her pack her things was almost a relief, like a prison door finally closing behind her. The aftermath was brutal. I felt a mix of relief and devastation. It hurt like hell knowing she'd cheated, lied, and even brought a child into this mess without telling me. But at the same time, I felt a strange sense of freedom. I realized I'd spent years trying to fix what was already broken, trying to believe she was better than her bitchy attitude and lies. Turns out, she never really loved me. She was just using me as a backup until she got what she wanted. I've learned a lot from this. Trust is everything, and once that's gone, it's almost impossible to get back. I also learned to see through the lies, to recognize when someone is manipulating you to keep their own secrets. Most importantly, I learned that revenge isn't about hurting her just for the sake of it. It's about reclaiming yourself, standing up for what's right, and making her see that her actions have consequences. Now, I'm just focusing on myself, getting healthy, rebuilding my confidence, and making sure I never get fooled like this again. If there's one thing I can tell anyone going through something similar, don't ignore the signs. Trust your gut, stay honest with yourself, and never let someone treat you like dirt. Because in the end, you're the only one who can truly stand up for yourself.